Hey, what's up you guys? This is Junior Trader, and in this video we are taking a look at Tesla stock options analysis. So let's see how the traders are betting their money for this coming week on Tesla. These are the options that are expiring for this week. And we have earnings of Tesla guys this week as well. That is on Tuesday. So it makes it really interesting to see, how the money is being put around on Tesla's options. So remember though, just because you see options spikes somewhere or a lot of calls, less puts or more call or more puts or less calls, it doesn't matter. We still have to work with the technicals because technicals takes the precedence over anything else. And options is just where traders are betting their money, where they are putting their money. That's all it says, all right? So in this video, I'll take you over the options data and I'll put the confluence together with the technicals that what type of options may come to fruition. Now remember, they're earnings, so we have to take that into account as well, that what are the cases that happens after earnings, right? Like no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings, guys. No one knows. Earnings can be great, Tesla can fall. Or guidance can be great as well, Tesla can fall. Guidance can be bad, earnings can be bad, Tesla can go up. There just no one knows what's going to happen through that interval, all right? So we'll take those both cases into equation and accordingly take a look at what type of options may come to fruition if these cases happens, right? And then definitely we'll go over like how the calls and the puts are looking like now. Also, I would highly suggest if you can go to my channel and check out this video of mine, Tesla earnings next week that I did. It's right up over here on my channel. This will give you high-level technicals already that you need to be keeping your eyes out for, and that will give you a head start into this video as well. But I'll still provide you all that technicals high level right away as well in this video. So guys, let's jump right into it. Once I also let you know that none of this is any financial advice and is only for education purposes. All right. So Tesla is been going into this a little bit of a distribution phase. And once we lost this level of around 245 area, I talked about how we will come down into the blue box as for the intraday on the hourly interval, and we have been getting those. We are still trending though in the downward trend on Tesla on the intraday. Now on the full-on swing bearish, like for the technical plays, guys, check that video out. But on the full-on play for the bearish, like we need to break below the bottom of the blue box, that is 233, and also 20 days moving average, we need to break that. And that for the continuation of the bearishness and some trend directional also on the overall structure breaking. And if we just can get above again 245 and 84 cents with that trend line, the lower moving trend line on the intraday that we have, like all these cases, as if it continues to happen, there is likelihood will then just continue higher from there on, right? So it all comes down to these two levels as for the technicals, and this is from intraday and then accordingly will expand out. But there are earnings. So earnings will definitely on Tesla stock like can change the structure, right? So let's talk about those use cases with the options first. So let me show you first the options data. So red is the last trading day closing price. Black is the, sorry, yeah, that's what I said. Sorry, black is the last trading day closing price. Red are the puts, green are the calls for this week of expiration. So what I'm seeing is that this is the range from $200 all the way to $300. I'm seeing a lot of calls at $300. So how about we start off over there, $300 calls. What can bring this into fruition, right? $300 calls, guys, is way far away, right? Like right up here, right? So let me mark this first. And then, and you might not see some levels up on the top because I don't have that set there. So I'm just going to go to my indicator and move this timeline back in the past intervals price action, and we would have levels to the upside also show up then. All right. So $300, right? So let's mark that over here, very close to one of our significant level as well. Again, not going to be penny to penny perfect, guys. Let's just do it there. All right. So how much average range is Tesla making these days? $13, right? Down on my dashboard, you can see down here. So 13 times 5 is what? If my math is right, that has to be 65, right? Yeah. So now Well, yeah, so 239 plus 65, how much is that? Well, it just gets you above 300, but provided Tesla continues to keep going up and up and up and up and up, right? All the days, right? Is that a possibility? Well, not without the earnings. Earnings will have to act as a catalyst to get Tesla there. Sorry if I said Nvidia before. Wow. All right. So let's say Tesla stays around here on Monday above the blue box. That's very important for this bullish case. And let's say earnings happens. What is the usual gap that Tesla does through the earnings? Let's talk about that. So if I go over here and let's talk about this. This was the earnings period, right? And Tesla gapped up what? How much? Almost $20, let's say, right? 10%, 12%, $20. Let's give it $20. So let's say earnings comes great, Tesla gaps up, and it stays, it was here somewhere. Let's say it's there, and let's say it goes $20 up. So it comes back to $260, right, after earnings. And definitely, if it gaps up after earnings, consecutive days, I do expect Tesla to continue higher. $300 is still quite far-fetched though, guys. And if I put that picture in perspective, let's say $20 move right up here, this is your candle. This will look great, right? I would still say that $300 calls are still very far-fetched. Tesla, if by Wednesday, let's say through the catalyst of earnings or whatever, if Tesla can get above 270 or 265 and 270, then yes, it has gotten out of the supply zone. Then $300 is likely a possibility, but that has to happen by Wednesday morning. Then only by Friday you would have $300 calls make money. All right. Otherwise, I don't think so. All right. Yeah, that's very far-fetched. But hey, it's interesting to see, where traders are putting their so much money. Now, this is the upside cases, provided earnings comes great, right? So let's talk about what calls would look better if the earnings comes great, right? So let's say earnings and guidance is great, Tesla gaps up, and we are at $260, let's say, around this area, right? I would say things until, like, any calls until 285, and yeah, 285 might start to look good. But I would say I'm being a very decent case here. Only if earnings pushes the Tesla stock up, right? That is above those trend lines on the hourly interval that I showed you, and gaps like this up, right? A strong candle thus changing the ongoing intraday downtrend structure back again to the upside, and overall we're still bullish, so that favors us to the upside. But if that happens, 280 is the safest possibility to trade, in my opinion, as for the options for the calls. Now, let's talk about the puts, right? So all these calls, guys, like 280, sure, that's fine, but only if earnings pushes it up. Otherwise, these calls may not, look great. Now, there's also a case, what if Tesla just stays where it is? So, guys, for that, the video that I did on the technicals, right, just play with that. And if Tesla just stays where it is after earnings, that's also a possibility. Then it's all about if Tesla can continue to break this trend line back again to the upside. And I would say options would only look great until 265 or 260 on the call side, then only. And for that, we first have to get out of this lower moving trend line and also 200 hours moving average eventually, but 246 will start to give it that initial bounce already. So that's that. Now, what about to the downside, right? Let's say, so for the downside, we need to lose $233 level, right? Even though we don't see huge puts, but that doesn't matter, that price can't go there, right? What if the earnings or guidance just pushes the prices lower, whatever, right? You just never know what's going to happen. And no one knows. As I said, things can be great, guidance can be great, and Tesla can still fall, right? So if we lose this 20 days moving average, and that's when the earnings can also break the structure. And if Tesla goes below 20 days moving average, which it most likely will if it gaps down after earnings, provided on Monday it just stays in the blue box or stays up here. And well, there's one more case I'll talk about in just a second, but yeah, if we lose that 20 days moving average and we open up, let's say next day somewhere here, 223 or somewhere there, or 219 if we take $20 average move, then guys, yeah, I mean, those puts are already in the money, and then I would say 212 and 200 days moving average may also be a possibility that Tesla may come down and test this area next week. All right, it all comes down to that earnings now. All right, that's going to either gap up or gap down Tesla. Now, there is another case that that I was going to talk about, and it's slipping my mind. But yeah, so if Tesla continues to without staying choppy on Monday, if Tesla on Monday gets above 246 and out of that trend line that I showed you on hourly interval, and let's say we get above 252 for some reason, that tells you that it's already an initial earnings pump coming, and before even the earnings happen, there's a possibility we can come to 270 again. But it all comes down to also Monday, if we can get above 246 and close strong up there. All right, so it comes down to that as well. But it's going to be an interesting week. And definitely earnings, I provided you the zones that can possibly come into play. Again, no one knows what's going to happen through the earnings. Chart may look completely different, and that's why I want to provide both side of cases with 50-50%, because though right now things are technically bullish on Tesla, on the overall structure, intraday weakness is there, but it all comes down to earnings now, guys. All right, so providing a window of opportunity what to trade, it has to be case by case basis, right? Like if you just ask me the window, regardless of what happens, that would be like 212 all the way to almost just shy of 300, like 295. That's a possibility, or 280. But that's quite a bigger window. But if you just go, and if you go through the use cases, then above 246 after earnings is definitely all the calls can be played up to the upside to 280. And if we gap below the 20 days moving average, then puts can be played from 230 almost to the 212 range, in my opinion, or even lower, like until $206 range. So that's your window of opportunity for this week on Tesla. So that's it for this video, guys. So calls are still strong, but as I said, be just prepared as for how earnings happens and as how the structure happens. More technicals on structure side you would get to know in this video of Tesla that I did on my channel, so check that out. And guys, with that, I'll see you in my next videos. Take care. Bye. And if you need access to my tools that marks these automatic levels and everything, links to my tools are in the description below this video. All right, bye.